All right, guys, today we are talking about the paradox between confidence and humility. A paradox, if you guys haven't ever heard that term, I'm sure you have, but paradox isn't really a complicated word, but it is something you don't hear every day. So what is a paradox? A paradox is a statement that is seemingly contradictory or opposed to common sense and yet is perhaps true. A paradox really is when you've got two different ideas and they seem to be opposite, but you're trying to balance them, or you're trying to figure out which one is true and which one isn't true. There's a lot of different paradoxes in the world, but we're going to talk about the paradox between confidence and humility. So some of you may have a decent idea on this, and some of you may be still stuck in that paradox. But the reason why we're going to talk about this is because if we don't get this right, if we don't have a good understanding of it, then it's going to alter the way that we run our stores, the way we manage our people, the way we treat each other. It's going to make a difference in that. So that's why it's important to talk about this. One thing that I like about paradox is that in the leadership world, when you're teaching, there's usually two ends of a spectrum. And oftentimes people don't look at things as a spectrum. We tend to look at things as black and white, like it's either this or it's either that. And sometimes it can be on a spectrum too. And so when we look at the paradox, when we understand what a paradox is, we can kind of look at something on a spectrum where it's not black and white, but we're trying to figure out where reality is, on what side or where in the middle is reality on the spectrum. So it's a little bit different way of thinking compared to typically how we're trained when we're kids. So a common misunderstanding or a paradox about confidence and humility. All right, so here's a little eye chart, and I know there's a lot of stuff on there, and I'll go through it all so you understand what's going on. So I'll start on this left side here. So you see this confidence, okay, on the left side. We'll talk about what that means. This is the misunderstanding. So what I'm talking about right now is not me teaching you what this stuff is. It's me going over and talking about what the misunderstanding is, or what our common understanding is that may or may not actually be. So when we look at confidence, sometimes we look at confidence, or the world really looks at confidence as being able to recognize your ability. I can do this. I'm confident that I can do this, or I feel good about myself in this particular act. And then on the bottom scale of this would be your inability to recognize your talents, or so lack of confidence would be recognizing your inabilities. Okay, so when you don't have confidence, you focus on your inabilities. This is when you're thinking to yourself, I can't do this, that type of thing. On the flip side, way over on the other side, humility, this is more about how you see yourself. And the misunderstanding is that we see ourselves as weak. Okay, so humility sometimes, because you think of the word humiliation or being humbled, kind of knocked down a rung or two, you think of that, and the normal connotation for humility is, a position of inferiority. Okay, so we tend to think of ourselves when we're humbled, we think of ourselves as weak. We become aware of our weakness, that type of a thing. And then on the bottom side to this would be that we're not willing to show our weakness. So somebody that is struggling might want to hide what they're struggling because of it's really a pride issue. We'll get into that, but we don't want to show our weakness. So it's a tendency to not wanting to show our weakness here. Really, this comes down to strong versus weak. If you look at this teeter-totter in the middle here, what this really is it just shows that the misunderstanding is one that, and the reason why this is a paradox is because we can't see how high confidence and high humility can exist together. It seems to be on a teeter-totter where if we have high confidence, it means that our humility is low. The teeter-totter going this way would be the idea that, me strong, me confident, and other people weak, right? And so we tend to compare ourselves to others, right? This would be a confident stance. Okay, me strong, other people weak. And our confidence is high because we're stronger than other people, right? And over here, we have this side that we are weak, right? But we're not going to show that. And so humility here is like, I'm not going to be humbled. And this is also the theme here is also, I'm good, follow me. So if you're confident, it's I'm good, follow me. We move to this next one here then, where this is the opposite. This is where humility, this is seeing yourself as weak. Okay. And so some people think that humility means seeing yourself as weak. So the whole idea is that me weak, other people strong, right? And over here, then, if a person sees themselves as weak, then it's probably has something to do with them recognizing their inability. And they go hand in hand, right? I can't do this. I must be weak, right? Other people are strong because they can do it, right? They tend to work opposite of each other again. So again, we compare ourselves with others.